Hi there, welcome to the new look Red Army TV here in our very own bar. Hey, it's Yaff's Gaff. Got two fantastic guests with me tonight in the snug, and we're going to chat all things Boro. Matty Proudman, friend of the show. Matty, good evening, mate.
Good evening.
And our very own Foxy in the box. Foxy, good evening, pal.
Good evening.
How's it going? Look, fellas,
Good.
loads to talk about. QPR 2, Boro 2. Matty, I'll start with you. Was that the best we've played all season?
No, like we said, we Bristol City probably the best away performance. One of the best away performances of the season. So the team selection, it threw everything up for me. I had this down for an absolute pasting, to be honest with you. When I saw the team selection, I was buzzing, to be honest. Especially see the big players come back. It was a good performance. Don't get me wrong. I mean, defending shoddy, but we'll go on to that later.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll come on. Foxy, look,
defending was poor.
Matty's just said, hasn't he? Team selection, I've got it down here. I mean, it was only last week that I was reporting that potentially there was going to be nine first-team players unavailable. We then have Randolph, Friend, Fletcher all come out the woodwork and apparently knock on the gaffer's door and say, hey, look, Gaffer, I want to play. What do you read into that?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know whether it's all mind games, cloak and dagger a bit with what's going on recently, and maybe is he shrewd enough to think I'll say we've got a lot of injury problems to kind of take the pressure off us a little bit more, to think, well, we don't expect nothing here, or I don't know. I think if players are injured, they're injured. I think you know that, don't you, well in advance?
It could be mind games. Like I tell you what, it wouldn't put it past me to say, because he did say in the press conference, and he said like Randolph out, Coulson out,
yeah, he was certain
out,
about it.
Brown out. Yeah. So, but then the manager listened to that there, he's like, oh, nice one. Then they all play.
I mean, the Randolph one for me. I mean, obviously he's had international duty coming up, so did he want to play? Was he that injured? I mean, I would have been happy with Pearce starting after his performance the week before, but. I don't know. I don't know where we're at. But I mean, if that was the case, it worked.
Well, I mean, look...
We can't do it every week, though.
What we had, obviously, Randolph was back in. We had Ainsley Pearce, who apparently had a finger injury, but he was on the bench as well.
Yeah.
So, look, it's good to see them back. And, look, we can only read into it as much as we read in the press. If them three players went and knocked on the gaffer's door and say, look, I want to be part of this, get me back in.
I like that. If that is the case...
As fans, we've got to like it, haven't we?
Yeah, especially with where we are, people wanting to put their head above the parapet and go, you know what I mean, I'm not bothered if you're going... People who want to get stuck in there. They're the characters, actually, if that is the case, and I'd like to think it is, that's the type of character backbone span that's going to get us out the mess we're in and finish half decent in this league. Yeah.
Well, look, before we go on to Brit's 2 goals, Matty, I had a disallowed goal.
Yeah.
What do you think it was a disallowed goal?
Well, it wasn't even offside. I say, I was watching the goal, he was coming from behind him. You could see straight off the free kick, he was stood behind him. Shocking decision. One thing I'll say about Woodgate, he certainly isn't getting the look. Things like that go against you. When you're down there, you get them crap decisions, don't you? He was not offside. It was, 2 minutes in, you get a goal, you give us something to hold on to. We haven't been up front for God knows how long.
We've spoke about it before.
We've had something to hold on to.
We spoke about it before. He hasn't had the rub of the green, has he, Woody, really?
Not at all.
And I think we are just yon side of the line. I think with a bit of luck, that game goes on, and, we score, we don't let a goal in straight away. You could go on to be 2-3 up.
Easily, and I think there's a crazy, silly stat where we've hit the post and bar 10 times this season. You add that into the factor, you add the referee decisions into the factor, and also the fact that Brit just hasn't been able to hit a barn door, and I'm not going to slag him up, but hasn't been able to finish, being the main man this season. Where would we be, with all these little bits of things? So that, we all know, will turn, because that's how the league works.
Yeah.
And you will get your run.
Leading into Brit, obviously, scored 2 goals, great confidence thing. Got one negative, which I'm going to ask you about, whether you've seen it or not. Hasn't been much in the media, to be fair, about it.
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say, but the goals itself, look, Matty, bear in mind, loads of people saying about how confident the team is, let alone Brit. And like Foxy said, he's been the main man. How good is it for him, the feeling, for him not only to score, but to get both of them in a really short period of time, was it?
Yeah, well, the first goal, I can't decide if it was looking. It looks like he's had it hit his chest or something. But I was buzzing to see, because I've always backed Brit Sombalonga. I hate when people slate him and say he's garbage.
Well, his stats may speak for themselves.
That's what I always say. Stats are facts. You can't argue with stats.
No,
people say, I was at the football with the lads on Sunday and like, oh, Somba's long as rubbish. And like, where are you pulling this from? You know, averaging 15, 16 a season in the Championship. It's just, he's not
Well,
garbage.
I think that's 1 in 4 he's scored for the Boro. So
I guarantee you now he'll score 15 plus this season to Somba longer. And he should have been on double figures now.
Totally.
You know, his first finish was lucky, but I think he deserved a bit of luck, the way he's gone.
For his graft.
And his second finish was absolutely beautiful, let's be honest. He's put the keeper down, he's sent him pie and chips, and he
Well, completely, and that, I mean, and that in itself is when people want to say that a player's rubbish. There's a level between being rubbish and no confidence.
Yeah.
And the no confidence factor will make you look, will lose all your attributes. And as you've just said there, second finish was a really good finish for somebody who's in the mire with it. Why can't he go and do that against Hull next week? There's no reason why he can't now.
Well, his first finish was very reminiscent of Derby, and I think you said that.
Yeah.
Foxy.
It was pretty much the similar sort of setup.
Yeah, he
So
fluffed it against Derby,
he
didn't
fluffed it against Derby. So maybe, you know,
I think he just had too much time at Derby. I think
Yeah,
that's
he
where
should
it
have
was.
maybe-
Shouldn't have just thinking about it, you know, confidence comes in again, but he had far too much time at Derby. I don't even think he realised. He's just like,
No.
I'm through, took the keeper on, you know.
Would
he
you
was
say
far
then?
too much time.
Yeah, totally agree. And all I was going to say that is, would you say that maybe he's one of those strikers that if he doesn't have to think about it, he'll score?
Yeah, I
If
think
he has to,
Britt's always been impact.
the reaction.
He just reacts. He just impact. He's a impulse striker.
Yeah.
He's not like, I think if you put him through one-on-one ways, see,
5 seconds,
you
10
look at
seconds to think about it.
West Brom last season when he goes through and he's through one-on-one, he lifts it over the keeper. You know, he knows. But I think when he's in a position where he's like the Derby one, for example, and he's got
got time to weigh it up.
Oh, you know, I just think he's not that type of striker. I know people are going to see 50 million quid. Don't get me wrong, he should be scoring. And I'm not sitting here and saying, I'm not trying to defend him here and saying he should be
He's
scoring.
having a good season, but
he held
it's
on
in
with
there,
far
isn't it?
too long. But if I'll put him somewhere longer, easy 15 goals this season.
So, look, we've talked about his reactions. We've talked about how he deals with things. I'm going to come on to my little negative. I don't know whether you guys saw it, but when Britt scored his first goal, he went straight in front of our fans, in front of our home fan, the away fans, but our fans, cups his ears. As though to say, there you go, now talk about how I can't score goals and now...
Do you think it is that, or do you think it's more a case of, and again, I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate, or is he kind of going, you know, back me, look, there you go, look, I'm enjoying hearing you shout my name here, I can score a goal, because is it, you know, we've had Granit Xhaka recently walking off the pitch, getting wound up and taking the Arsenal stick, but I don't know whether that was as it was. I think that was lost in translation a little bit there. I don't know whether he was trying to go, and I think
if it was me, I'd be doing exactly the same, by the way.
Well, I mean, I noticed it straight away. I noticed it straight away.
Both goals he done it.
And he sort of, he made a beeline straight for the France. And now look, Foxy, I'm not here to knock anybody, but what I will say is he didn't have to do it.
No, but then
he could have went and celebrated with them fans. He could have done his normal, you know, he stands up and does. He could have done all that.
But does that show you on another type of way of looking at it psychologically? Is that more strikers I like to think are arrogant people. They've got one thing on mind. They have to be arrogant to want to shoot, to not want to pass the ball. You have to be a little bit arrogant to be a top quality striker. And so maybe are we looking at that and thinking, is there a little bit of arrogance there from saying, there you go, that's what I can do? And if that is the case, that's a positive for me.
Yeah.
Because I want to see that he hasn't been knocked that much.
Well, look, mate, I like yourselves, I think that strikers should be greedy.
Yeah.
I think they should shoot on sight. I think they should be arrogant. I just think, bear in mind what Woodgate said in the press as well the week before. I just don't think it boded well. It looked probably far worse.
That's what he's done, aren't we? I know, but I said we don't know that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I say,
it probably looked far worse, Matty, than it was.
It probably did, but I say if it was me, I'd be doing exactly the same.
But as well as you saying that, as though, and even if that is the case, he still left it open for interpretation, which is the thing, isn't it, from where you're coming from. And so some people, that isn't going to sit well unless he goes and scores, you know, another couple against Hull, and, you know, we crack on, then, you know, he can celebrate how he wants for me.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think he's sitting well. If he's scoring goals, I couldn't give it.
It's
what he does. He can do what he wants.
Do what he wants.
Obviously, look, we're going to have a break really shortly, and we'll come back and finish the QPR game off, and then we'll look ahead to the games we've got coming up. Just want to quickly, before that, I want to talk about the own goal we scored a bit in depth after the break, but I want to talk about the goals that the first goal. Could we have defended that, Matty? I mean, I looked at both of them and I think they're both defendable. Do we have bear in mind we had Friend back in, and I'm not going to blame Friend because I thought Friend done really well to come back in after so long. But do we just at times, Matty, switch off?
We look like we defend space. I think we were talking about it earlier. We defend space. I mean, Woodgate being a defender, I think the defender season's been shocking. Let's be honest. Some of the goals we've conceded this season are a joke.
Especially off set pieces.
You know, and yeah, set pieces. And like you say, the first goal, when he's just did two of them there. I think he's knocked him off the ball. The other guy said, "I'm having this," and he's through one goal. We shouldn't be defending space. I just think, well, that comes with confidence. I don't know. You know, I think if you're playing second, if you're second or third in the league and you're on 4 or 5 in the spin, I don't think them things happen. But you say there was that goal. Then we got a warning off the corner where there was a free header.
Well, fellas, sit tight. I'll fill your drinks up again. Join us after this short break at Yaff's Gaff on Red Army TV. Hi there, welcome back to Red Army TV here at Yaff's Gaff. Got the lads with me in the snug, chatting all things Boro. Well, fellas, look, we were chatting QPR 2, Boro 2. Just want to come back to the own goal, Matty. I'll start with you. Now, I know where I sit on this, but the own goal, do you think we could have handled it better, or do you think Howson was in the right place for that own goal?
I'll tell you what, free header was a joke again. You know, we shouldn't be giving free headers like that way in the box. That zonal marking for me just doesn't work. First point. Second point for me, Howson, he should be on the post. I think he's come off the post and gone in front of Randolph. I know you're going to say he should have been there, but if I'm looking at that if I'm analysing that there, you'd expect him to be staying on the post. I think that's where he was, and he's come off and just got in the way. He's in the right place to be in the post, and if he'd have cleared it and the ball goes across, you see he's in the right place. But it's unlucky, let's get it that way. It's unlucky. I mean, is he in the right place? For me, he should have been on the post.
Foxy, I mean, I think the goalkeeper's got to save it, and Matty's hit the nail on the head. About 10 minutes prior to that, we got a shot across the bows, which was a free header again, from a guy just stood outside the 6-yard box, puts the ball straight across, and Randolph palms it away. How do you see the own goal, mate?
I think when we were just talking there about it, I think that I agree with what Matty's saying. I think that it's zonal marking. There's got to be a balance of it. I don't ever knock anyone for an own goal. You're getting yourself in the way. But if you'd have stayed in the position he should have been on the post, maybe that wouldn't have happened. But I think also that if we were on a run where we were playing really well and we'd have come out with that game with a win, the own goal, we don't care about the own goal. But I just think it's another one of those things that's
seems we're going against you.
Yeah, we don't win, and then there's the negative. Yeah, and then so it's easy then for people to compound that. But yeah, there's elements of both. For me, a defender's got to be as hungry to get rid of the ball as a striker is to score, and I don't think we have that in either box right now. That little bit of aggression, and as you said, he got bullied off the ball a little bit, and then he was out of position, and then it was good night really. So, but they're little fixes. Yeah, and that, as you said, with the international, is this a good thing now? We're going to talk about that with the international break. They're the tweaks that, as you're saying, you'd expect Woody, as a top-class defender himself, to home in on that.
Well, like you say, mate, you've led me straight on to it. International break now coming up. Obviously, England play a couple of games coming up, but has it come at the right time, Matty? Has it come at a good time for the Boro? Is there ever a good time for international break?
Only a good time when you win. I think if you go off, coming on to the back of a 2-week break, you need to be winning the game before. It gives you something to go on to. We've got no momentum. There's no momentum. I know people are saying, it could be the corner turn. I ain't having that. We haven't turned a corner, or we haven't turned a corner until we put 2 or 3 decent results together.
We have to start again a bit now.
It's coming at a point where, because we've come off the back of a half-decent performance, we'll say, a good performance, it'd be nice to crack on again on the Saturday or the Tuesday and just go at it again. Yeah. If we'd have got beat, it'd probably come at the perfect time because we can have a break, but I don't think there's probably a good time. It just gives chance of Boro fans to calm down, I think, maybe.
So, Foxy, the same question to you, though, but what I would say, Matty's hit the nail on the head. What I would say is, we have scored goals. Yeah. It was a better performance. Does that leave the team with this international break confidence high?
I definitely echo what Matty's saying. I think it's a strange thing because, yes, we would have loved another game straight away, especially with the fixtures that we've got coming up, to get meat and bones this now, meat and potatoes, and Hull, Barnsley especially, and then Leeds after that. But it would have been nice with Brit scoring, which is what it's all about. It seems like the focal point. It's all about Brit. For him scoring and to have carried that on straight away, is he going to rest on his laurels a little bit and start thinking he's back when he isn't back? And his confidence going to get a bit too. I've done my bit there. I know I'm going to do it against Hull. Whereas if we'd have had a game straight away on the Tuesday, he hasn't got time to really dwell on that too much. You're training. And the plus side of the international break is we can work on hopefully those little things that we're talking about there with the defensive issue. But we had that before the last international break, and we had things that we needed to work on, which he said he was going to work on for 2 weeks, and then we kind of failed again a little bit.
Looked like they hadn't even been in.
Yeah, so it really just depends on how intense and how many players. I don't know how many players are on international duty. Probably Randolph, Saville and McNair. But it gives him chance now with the nucleus of those players to just maybe drill it. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of international breaks in the middle of a season anyway. I like players, momentum's everything in football. And we've kind of gone again, like you said, we haven't turned the corner yet. No. We just, our main man who hasn't scored for a long time, scored 2. We've been in the lead for half a minute. We've gone behind and pulled that character back to get back in it. So we've had a mixture of a little cameo of everything of our season in that game. So it would have been nice just to plough straight on. Yeah. With a home game, especially where we've been really poor this season.
So we've mentioned, 3 massive games, what I think, probably make or break games, in my opinion. And look, I've never been in any camp what says, and look, there's people out there, we know there is, however the gaffer, however Woody wants to put them, whether they're keyboard warriors or whether they're, and in my opinion, that was a slip of the tongue by him. I don't think he meant, anything massively.
I think with him saying about how many those 2 fans that travelled all the way down there, those 1,500, which we've always had a brilliant away backing, haven't we? We got best away support in the Premiership when we were under Karanka. We're known for it. I would expect those fans to be positive and sing his name and all of it. So he has maybe said something a little bit. Yeah. But again, that's the same as the league table doesn't like. It's just learning stuff.
Nothing a bit of media training.
No, he's not. You see where he's coming from.
Yeah, you see where he's coming from. So look, 3 massive games to come up, fellas. Just one thing I want to quickly dwell on, and I don't want to be massive on it because it's not really Boro, but in the same week that Neil Warnock parts company with Cardiff, obviously there will be people out there looking at Neil Warnock thinking, especially those who are on the bandwagon of Woodgate out, they'll be looking at, is he available? Is he the type, Matty, that we want at our club?
I like Neil. We were talking. I know he doesn't. He got a class, but I like Neil Warnock. He shows a bit of passion.
I agree with that.
I like the way he goes. I like the way he manages. I know people say about his style. I don't put him in the Pulis era because he's won things. He's won a lot of things. He gets teams out of leagues, and I think he gets people playing for him. I tell you what, if you're asking me, I'd have him. I would. I don't want to sit and say I want Woodgate, to get sacked or out. But if Woodgate had to go, I would have Warnock. I would. I'd probably get shot down for it, but I would.
So could he come in, and I don't want to say sort of like a Robson Venables-esque type thing, but could he come in and give Woody a couple of pointers and say, look, why don't you do it like this?
I think
Son, why don't you do it like this, kid?
He'd feel undermined. If I was a new manager of a football club and then my chairman brought in an experienced manager to come work alongside me, I'd feel a bit chipped off.
Yeah, you don't think it'd work? Look, I just thought I'd bring it up because it's topical, it's in the news. I never seen it come in. I thought he was finished at the end of the season anyway. I thought he'd said he was leaving anyway.
And they're all part of the reason for me why I don't think it's a good addition. I think I agree with what Matty's saying, although we do disagree on certain points. But as far as a passionate man goes, and as far as somebody that knows how to get teams out of this league, tick. And also, the personality of the guy, he's obviously going to be upbeat, he's going to pick people up. But he's obviously failed at Cardiff this season. He's obviously not got that whatever it is left in him. He's 70 if he hasn't got that. He was wicked at Sheffield United. They were looking to go down with all the West Ham debacle all them years ago with the Tevez and Mascherano. Different teams, and he's got them up with it. He's only been there. He was only at Cardiff. He only went there in 2016. So he worked wonders with a team that nobody at the start of that season would have fancied to have gone up that year. Styles I disagree with. I do think he's Tony Pulis-esque, but then, the counter-argument could be that he works with what he's got. But I just think he is, for me, a Pulis with hair. But without sort of being turning it into sort of a cat. I think that maybe 10 years ago, if he would just come out of Cardiff and he still had that little bit, then maybe.
I just thought I'd drop it in with it being topical. Look,
fellas, I'd rather have Harry Redknapp.
Hull City at home, Barnsley at home, then Leeds away. Let's figure out Leeds away. It's a miles away. But Hull and Barnsley at home, are they must-win games, Matty?
you've got to win your home games. It doesn't matter regardless if we're playing Hull, Barnsley or anyone else. You have to win your home games, and especially the rut we're in. Because if you go in them 2 games there and you just say you only pick up a point or you don't pick up anything, and results go against you, if you're going away to Leeds and 7-8 points out in the relegation zone, that's diabolical.
Yeah,
that's
with a bad goal difference.
Massive,
that is bad. I mean, Woodgate can say the league's lying, but if we don't get at least 4 points, Hull and Barnsley.
Foxy, do you agree with that, Ben, man? I'm thinking Leeds coming. It's a hard place to go to.
I think, I mean, Barnsley score goals at home especially, and they're away. So, as you said, so it's normally your home record where people go, that needs to be good. We are a bit better away from home this season, but I think that's the pressure of not having the home fans on us. But we do need to make it a fortress again, and I think that, like you said, if we come out with that with less than 4 points, it's not good, because Barnsley are poor travellers. We need to turn them over. Hull aren't the best travellers. You take Boro and...
Jarek, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know, can't think of his name for some reason, it slipped my head, but the winger, you take him out of your team, and it's, they're nothing flash either. So.
Well, fellas, time's upon us again. Thank you very much indeed for coming to Yaff's Gaff.
Thank you,
and
been a pleasure.
enjoying a pint, chatting all things Boro with me. It's absolutely fantastic. However, what I have got to say to you is...
It's a lock-in.
It's not a lock-in. See your drinks off. It's time at the bar. Simple as that. Join me next week on Red Army TV. 2 more fantastic guests here at Yaff's Gaff. Hopefully, after this international break, we're going to get 6 points, aren't we? See ya.